This is going to be an interesting video for me because up until a couple of years ago, I was a really big fan of Dilbert and Scott Adams as a whole, to the point where I actually own his book. How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. I've owned this book for a couple of years now. I've owned the entire anthology of Dilbert. I've got other collections. I'm a real Dilbert fan. This is not me I'm just gonna jump on the bandwagon. This is actually really bothering to me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Scott Adams essentially said that all black people are a hate group. And I want you to hear it from him, not from me. So I'm gonna give you guys the clip, and then we can discuss from there.
But I have to say, this is the first political poll that ever changed my activities. I don't know that that's ever happened before. Normally you see a poll, you just look at it and you go, whatever. Oh, this is interesting what other people think. But as of today, I'm going to re-identify as white because I don't want to be a member of a hate group. I'd accidentally joined a hate group. So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed.
I always have an issue when people use polls as data because you don't know the source of the actual polls. Who did they interview? They didn't interview 100% of the population of black people. They didn't give us all the opportunity to take that poll and say what it is. And then you come away from it well, I think that if that's the case, then just stay away from them. If that's the case, let's just bring back segregation. That's going to solve everything. Because of course, we'll always grow as a people by avoiding our problems. That's exactly what should happen. It just makes no sense, bro. I'm saying that as someone who actually appreciates your thought patterns and your brain and your insightfulness and your humor. You're actually a very intelligent man, Scott. You are. And even with you being brought into the demagogue system of Trumpism and whatever, I can even respect that there being some form of logic being informed when you decide to join that kind of group or have those kind of thoughts. Because I remember back in the day, you were supporting Kanye, right? And I can see where you can draw logical connections. I can see that. But when you do this, when you say something like this, there is no logical connection to be had. If you really get into the nitty-gritty of what you just said and where you just landed, you're asking for us to be even more racist. You're basically playing a schoolyard game of saying, well, if you don't like me, I don't like you, and I'm not going to hang out with you anymore, and I'm out of here, buddy. I'm going to ignore an entire part of the population. And we can be civil, of course. Yeah, we can be very civil, but we can't help each other anymore. Because I don't care about who you are as a person. I just care about that you took this poll and you said that it's not okay to be white. You're crying about nothing, sir. You're crying about nothing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of Dilbert. I'm not going to make fun of you, Scott. I'm just going to say that you need to take a step back. Take a small break, because right now, because of you, Dilbert is dead. I was really hoping with the whole revival of everything getting rebooted that we're going to get another Dilbert cartoon, because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I love that cartoon. But now, because of you being an idiot, we're never going to see that. We're never going to see it. It's never going to happen. And no one's going to fund it, no one's going to support it, and nobody's going to care about it. And I get it. You've been standing behind your words for a long time. But I think it takes a real person, I won't say a real man, but a real person, to look at themselves and ask themselves, am I capable of being wrong? Am I capable of having a snap judgment? And maybe that judgment being incorrect. You know? you saying that you at one point identified as black is completely ridiculous, and I am someone who defends Rachel Dolezal. You don't even look black. Even if you like dyed your skin darker, you would still look like a white man. You know, you're not gonna have black babies yourself unless you adopt. You have no reason to support the black struggle. It just doesn't work. And I get it, you were trolling, but even used as a troll is nonsensical. And I know you're more clever than that. I know, because I've read your work, man. You're more clever than that. I know it. This is, again, I'm going to tell you why it's hurt so much and it's so problematic for me. I am a patron of the library, right? And when I was a kid, the book that I would keep out the most was, I forget the name of it, but it was a white Dilbert book that had the comic strips, but also your thoughts and your experiences written throughout the pages. And occasionally there'd be a break in between the writing that would have comic strips that would like kind of pertain to what you were talking about. And it got to the point where I just really wanted the book. So I just kept it. I'm like, you know what? I'll just pay the fees later. I really want this book. I'm a kid. I don't have a lot of money. So I'm just going to keep the book. And I got library fees because of you, Scott. Because you made some great points and great insights. And I really used to respect you. But if you're going to tell me that I'm part of a hate group because I was simply born, or I'm part of a hate group because I was brought to this country by your people, and you want to say, well, just go back. Well, give me money to go back. You know what I mean? Where are the reparations? Is that ever going to happen? Probably not. So guess what? We have to learn to live with each other. We have to learn to love each other. We have to learn to be here in this country and coexist, right? And even integrate. Because ultimately the best way to defeat hate is love. And the only white people that I think should stay away from black people are racist white people. And unfortunately, Scott, you are now lumped in as one of them. You are now officially a racist. You are calling for segregation. And even to the point where, like, I'm thinking about like the Dilbert comic currently, and you add a black character to troll black people and also troll LGBTQ people. And to some degree, I thought it was kind of clever in like the South Park kind of way, right? But then you actually read the content of it, and it hurts. Because I know you're better than that. I know you're better than that. But you're proving myself to be very wrong. You're proving myself to be very errors in judging you based on the things you've written over the years. And you become someone who is no longer deserving of respect from anyone. And I really hope anyone that follows Scott sees that and understands that, yes, he speaks very calmly and very matter-of-factly about things. But that doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that we need to stay away from each other. If anything, it means we should get closer to one another and grow as a people. Because ultimately, we are all one race. We are all the human race. I'm not gonna be crazy and be like, yeah, I'm gonna burn all these books now, and I'm gonna throw them in the trash. I can't do it. You know, like, there's still some insight found in these books and these things you've written. But I think the current path that you're taking is gonna really screw up your legacy. And it really is gonna hurt a lot of people who probably care about you that happen to also be black. The things you're teaching are things I've spoken out against my entire life. My brother's a black Muslim, and the Nation of Islam often said the same things you're saying, is that you can be cordial around white people, but you should not actually be their friend. You can be cordial around white people, but you should not integrate within their society. And I've always been like, yo, that's ridiculous. Let's just judge each other for who we are and not what we were born into. I don't understand the logic of giving up on one another. I don't understand the logic of not realizing that we are all one race. And I would love to hear what everyone else out there thinks. Whether you support Scott Adams or you don't care, because Dilbert at this point is pretty irrelevant. Let's talk about it. I love to hear it. Like to hear it. Like to hear it. Like to hear it. My name is Chris, and Ever Use Teleport.